Hello, welcome to another Retro Core, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the RetroTINK 5 again. Now the reason for this is a lot of people have asked me, how does it look with the PS2? There's one in the background. And does it actually live up to the hype which surrounds this device, and is it better than the FrameMeister? Well, let's take a look and see how I'm getting on with it 1 month later. Okay, so first off, we're taking a look at the RetroTINK 5X running with a PlayStation 2. Now, PlayStation 2 is one of the worst looking consoles of any generation to run on an HD TV. It just flickers and looks really bad. But as you can see here, it's looking pretty good, isn't it? Even the jaggies aren't that bad. And that is thanks to the processing power of the RetroTINK. So let's go to a bit of text and you can see what I'm talking about. So here you can see the stats of the image coming from the PlayStation 2. As you can see, we're running it through composite video and we're outputting at 1080p. But the input is 525 interlaced. So yeah, that is an interlaced signal. But as you can see, the text there is pretty rock solid. It's not flickering. Although we still do get the jaggies and stuff, but that can't be helped because that's a PlayStation, no anti-aliasing. But anyway, if we take a look, if we go back the menu here, and if we go to the post-processing, nope, not that one. Okay, and we go to the deinterlacer. Now, what PlayStation 2 would normally look like is basically that. And can you see the way it's flickering the text? And that's just on normal Bob deinterlacing. Without any interlacing processing, it looks even worse than that. But yeah, PlayStation 2 looks terrible on a modern TV. But if we put it into the motion adaptive, you can see it looks a lot smoother. And that is something that the RetroTINK 5X does much better than the FrameMeister. It can make your PlayStation games look very, very solid. So, and as you can see in game, it also looks very solid indeed. Very clear, flicker free, and a nice vibrant image. So the RetroTINK 5X is really doing a good job when it comes to PlayStation. Now you may remember my original video for the RetroTINK 5X that I complained about the lack of mixing audio and video channels, and that was a big problem for me, as I can show you right now. So as you can see, there are many different consoles and things connected to this TV. We've got all manner of stuff. We've got consoles, high definition Blu-ray players, we've got a PC down there, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, we've got the analog systems. We've even got a Series X, and over there we've got an Xbox 360. And all these things are connected to this TV. But the problem is the PC Engine here and the Neo Geo MVS, which is underneath the the PC Engine's cover there, output the audio signal separate from the video. As you can see, they're running through phono outs. Now with the FrameMeister, you could mix and match audio and video, so you can have video from one thing and audio from another, but the RetroTINK cannot do that. But I found a solution. So here we go, we've got the RetroTINK down there, and the video is going into that via RGB. So there's the RGB input, and there's the RGB switches at the back down there. You can just about see them. But the audio, the phonos, are going into the switch box here. Now this switch box goes into the amp, but it gets a little bit more complicated. Now I don't know if you can see in there, but there's this little box right here. And what that is an analog to digital converter with absolutely zero lag. And that takes the audio feed from the switch box here, and it converts it into digital through a Toslink, which goes into the amp. Now on the TV screen, you can see that we can go to inputs, and we can select the source. So, oops, the wrong button. So we go to source input assign, and for optical 2, I just assign that to the game section, and instead of taking the audio through the HDMI, it will now take it through the Toslink. And that now allows us to use this switch box to switch the audio between the PC Engine and the Neo Geo. And that goes into the little converter there, and into the comes out of the digital analog there. Digital analog, the analog to digital converter, and into the amp. And basically what that means is we now get stereo sound from our PlayStation, from our PC Engine and Neo Geo. Okay, so this is Frey, and you may be able to see we've got some of the scanline options there. And yeah, we've got pure stereo sound now coming from our PC Engine. Let me just turn this up. So yes, this is a real Neo Geo running through the RetroTINK 5X with stereo sound. Oh yes. And now one thing I really do like about the RetroTINK 5X is that they've now improved the menus. So let's take a look at them. One good thing is the new menu system actually makes use of the weird controller that came with it, because the original menu system and these buttons didn't mean anything. But now pressing the button that looks like a menu brings up a menu. And of course we can move up and down using these, and to get out we press that. So it all makes sense now. No need for these other buttons. Okay, so as I said, the new improved menu is much better. Of course we can access the inputs there, but we can also access the inputs directly on the remote. We can also change our output resolution. And now we can go into more detail about the scaling and so on, so we can customize it to our heart's content. Of course, all the usual filters are still here. Very easy to access now. No need to press the button to siphon through them. We can just instantly pick whatever we need. Now, this is one feature I really like about the RetroTINK, is the built-in pre-setups. So here you can see we've got the Neo Geo 320 set up. And we've got Saturn, even a high-res Saturn one there, and we've also got a couple of others for other machines. So we've got Genesis and Saturn, Mega Drive and Saturn, normal resolution. So yeah, it's pretty decent. You've got a couple of built-in options there. You can also customize those if you wish. Now, one thing which is very good about this new updated menu is the ability to customize the overlays. So previously it wasn't as flexible as this. So for example, when you pick an overlay for a system that you want, but it might seem a little bit dark. So let's see, let's go with the PVM overlay. So that looks a bit dark, but what you can do is boost the gamma, so now it looks a lot brighter than you know, what it originally was. So that looks pretty grey there, doesn't it? Boost it up and the whites look a lot whiter now. We can also boost the color as well. So let's get into the game so we can get a better look at that. Put a credit in. Okay, so here we can see, let's boost the color. And hopefully you can see that that has now improved the color. And if we take the gamma back down to 0, which is what it was at this preset, you can see it looks pretty dark now. So yeah, you can now change a lot of things. You can also change the different masks that go with each scanline option, which is really cool. So you can see it looks much better. I don't know how well this comes through on YouTube, but it looks really good now. You can customize to your heart's content. Also, we've got the video cleanup option here, the low pass filter, which can clean up messy images from analog sources. I think keeping it on medium seems to be about right for most things. And also we can now change the background of the on-screen display. So instead of just having a blue background, we can change it to any color we want. I like to keep it on grey. And of course we could change the on-screen display size as well. So I mentioned this in the first video, but one thing I really do love about the RetroTINK 5X is that you never miss the boot ups of your console. I'm going to switch on the Sega Saturn now, and look at that. We get straight into the signal. We don't miss the boot up or anything. Really nice. And what I'm going to do is also skip to the high-res Saturn profile, because this is a game that runs in Sega Saturn's highest resolution. So let's get all these scan lines and things off, which was set for the Neo Geo. Okay, now this is quite a rare title. This is Last Gladiator version 9.7, and this is quite a rare one. Unfortunately, my case is cracked, but I do have a complete copy. This actually came out after the Necronomicon, and is a special edition of the first game, and it runs in the Sega Saturn's highest resolution. Now, playing this on a CRT made the game flicker like crazy, but look at that, it is rock solid on this screen. Now let me just turn off the interlace options, and you'll see just what this would look like even on a CRT. There we go, it's this one. Okay, that's what it looked like on a CRT. I don't know if you can tell by looking at this video, but that writing is flickering like crazy. And I know this for a fact because I used to play this game on a CRT all the time back in the UK when I used to run my Sega Saturn through RGB. And all Sega Saturn games used to flicker like that in high resolution modes. Yeah, but we put it into motion adaptive, and it is super stable, and that makes playing a game like this very nice. Just take a look at how good this looks. Let's get the volume turned up as well. Look at that, we don't even need scan lines. That looks super razor sharp.
Enter the quest. Now in your mind is my salvation.
It's been many years since I've played this one. I'm not doing very good, am I? That's enough of that. So that is the RetroTINK 5X, and yes, I do really like it. I think it's a really good device, but it is missing a few tricks, such as no HDMI in. Now, a lot of people on forums say, well, what do you want HDMI in for? Because, you know, this is a device for retro machines, and yeah, it is a device for retro machines, but an HDMI in can be very useful. Take a look at this game, for example. This is the new one, what's it called again? Wonder Labyrinth, Deed Lit in Wonder Labyrinth. It's part of the Record of the Lotus War series. And this is running on the PlayStation 4. Now, this game does not have any filter options, and because of that, it looks kind of blocky. Now, it is a pixel art style game, but yeah, it's all blocky. This game would really benefit from some scan lines or some sort of filter option. But unfortunately, there is no option. And now, this is where the HDMI in would become very useful, because you can plug your PlayStation 4 into the RetroTINK 5X and add some nice overlays. But unfortunately, we can't do that. With a FrameMeister you could, but the overlays weren't so great on that machine. But anyway, besides that, I do think the RetroTINK 5X is an excellent piece of kit. It isn't cheap, it's expensive. But, you know, if you're after something to make your retro games look good, this is the machine to get at the moment. This is the best one on the market. Anyway, until next time, guys, take it easy and keep on gaming. See ya.